Hey, Don here. Okay, back with another live stream, and I'm going to start back on figuring out what video card I want to get for this server. So my HP DL380 Generation 7, I believe what it is, and we'll check that again in a minute. I'm terrible with numbers, but first I want to check my audio on my stream. You can see the video over there, but okay. Got a good audio, and I can see the video. So, preview looks funny. The little blind, when you're looking at these previews, and well, this is OBS Studio, it will the preview gets when you're streaming. Sometimes when the blue line gets around the preview, it looks like you're selected it, like if you're editing it or something. I'm like, no, I don't want to mess anything up. I don't know if you can even do that. I don't think you can change, the sizes while you're streaming. You might can. Yeah, you can too, because I've seen people do it before in their stream. Excuse me. Another glorious allergy day, but it was too hot in here. It's 78, getting on 79 degrees, and I looked up and saw that there was a 64 outside, so I opened the window about 2 hours ago, I think. Now I'm having trouble with sinus. But it did take something, but just before I started, so maybe it'll help or it'll make it worse before it gets better. But so let's see. First thing I'm going to do, let's go back to the server. I'm going to switch mics. And okay, looks good on my deal. Well, let me just check it on the actual stream. It would be terrible if it wasn't working. And I thought it was, There we go. Okay, have to wait for it to come in. It's behind, real time a little bit. The stream is. And okay, so yeah, trying to figure if I wanted to roll over there or try to stand over there, but I think I'll roll. Yeah, I didn't show you yet. Let me get on my endoscope. So, what I want to do first, see that little screw? Those things have star heads. I couldn't see it. I tried to put it. I had a Phillips. I tried to put it in there, and it just spanned. So then I had to get my magnifying glass and see what it had in there. They're them star bits. And I got one, but I looked on the top, and then I quit. And I thought, well, I guess I might as well do that while I'm doing my stream anyway. Oh, I almost forgot to switch. Switching the cameras is nice, but if you don't remember to do it, it's not much good then. Okay, so I kind of thought, well, maybe it fell out. I found it over there by the closet door back over yonder in the floor. And I didn't have the server over there. I had it somewhat in that direction, but I thought maybe this tray, maybe I better take it out anyway. I don't see any screws in that side of it whatsoever. I guess I'll take it out and make sure, because this, to me, the logical thing that it would have fell out of is this riser tray, or rack, or whatever you want to call it. So I'll take it out, and it's pretty easy to get out. It's got these little deals to help lift it up. I think that's really just to unplug the riser card. Oh, you got to get them all loose. I think it's a little harder to turn because I did that, but I just figured, well, trying to shove it back down would be even worse, because when you pull those up, it takes it unplugs the riser card. Too far that way. There's the connectors, and so you do want to be careful with that. So let's see. Any places that would have screws? Oh, and then I found out I thought you needed them to put it back down, but they don't latch. They just set on this rail. Let me look in there while I'm thinking about that. Yeah, they just sit on the rail. Oh yeah, they sit right in there, and then there's a place for the ears to hook in, 2 places. So anyway, it's just for pulling it up out. It's not for, it doesn't lock it in. The only thing that locks it in is these screws. And I thought, you know, usually when you have some mechanism like that, its main purpose is to lock things in, but that's not the case with this. It's trying to, do not see, I can't see anything today, seems like. I got to get where I can see. I can't really keep, I doubt you would see, you know, on the camera anyway. Wait, is that it? Nope. Lots of holes in there, but they're all rivets is what they are. I think they're rivets. There. There's one that looks like it has threads, but I don't see any reason for it to have a screw in it. I mean, can't see the other side of the, yeah, those are rivets. I see one. So where did you come from? I may have an extra screw for a while. Unless it came out of this riser card, I did have it out, swapping it from over here to over here. I wouldn't think it would have a screw like that in it. Oh, wait. That screws down in there? No. Boy. I sometimes get so bad. Yeah, if you got one of these servers and you had the screws fall out, tell me where yours fell out from. Not that they'd probably fall out of the same place, but hey, never know. I don't think there's going to be any screws in that card, but if there were, I don't think they'd be like that. Careful. I mean, it's not hard to get out, but I just don't think that's where I should be looking. Now that I have it out, I'll put it right there. And I've looked down the side. It's come real good. No screws. That doesn't mean there couldn't be any on the other side. Oh yeah, there's 2 here, 4, then there's 3 on the other side. I guess I'll go ahead and spin it. Let's move this then. If I'm going to start spinning it, I need more space than that. It should spin pretty good. It slides good. There's nothing rough on the bottom of the catch. I've been sliding it under my bed on the carpet, and it slides really good on the carpet. I'm going to leave it on this side so I can see it. Now, all the ones that I found, I tightened up already. I got around there and looked, but I thought, well, you didn't have too good of an angle, you know, so maybe. I definitely don't want, well, you know, if a screw falls out, it usually was necessary somewhere. You don't want loose screws rattling around in your server that get up on some contacts, especially like say the well, probably could do it just as easily on the top, but you know, on the underside of the board, they're usually longer pieces, sharp, you know, the sharp parts that cut the crap out of you. They're usually sticking down there. This probably doesn't have as long, and this board probably, I don't think would have them as long. I haven't had it out. As you know, a lot of stuff you see, these things are made really well, made to last. So I did see a video of how to replace the board in this, and it was surprisingly easier than you would think. The guy had, you know, obviously he worked on them all the time, so he did it. It was a live video, basically. I mean, I don't think it was a live video, but it's a one shoot video, not edited. It didn't look like, and he did it in 10 or 15 minutes, from start to finish, you know. So I really thought I would find where that goes. I do not see where it came from. I don't remember it rattling, but I can't find it, so we'll just like that. That table's not as wide as this, so I'm trying to get it kind of balanced. And it's also these I don't trust them. Sometimes they'll flop down on you. I'm trying to get the weight hovered over the legs of the table. It's pretty heavy for this table. I had it all kind of before I could see it. Yeah, that's all right, I guess. Just a little bit. Make sure I could see the back end, because if I really do anything else, I was planning on plugging it up and turning it on. But first, I want to go back to doing the video card business, and that will probably take long enough that I might not get to anything else. Yeah, this is the thing I would think, if anything could fall out, it would be this. There's one that's a rivet. Look like, got a lot of rivets on this. If anything would have a screw in it, fall out, especially and land over there by the door, I would think it'd be this. But yeah, see. It's making you nervous when I do this. It's me too. It's not an old truck, is it? Something a little more delicate than that. Okay, so put this back. Yeah, you can see where to go. You go up to the that and this and this. So that's the that's the way to get your distance, your direction that way. And you can see in here, if you had light, whether or not you're hitting that straight. You want to kind of try to hit it straight. And yeah, see, these raise it up is all they do. They don't help you get it in there. There's no latch for them or anything right there. There we go. And if those screws line up, then it's in the right place. They have little springs on them. You have to push it in to get it started. Once you get it started, you're good. And that's kind of funny. I really thought it would latch, because you can pull. If you pull on this, it'll pull this cattywampus like that. Or if you lift up on these pretty hard. So I was really surprised. But there's not any latching mechanism in here. I thought that these arms would do something like that, but they don't. And if you look at it, it's not made to do that. All they do is pivot right there. All they do is push up right in the kind of, not even in the middle, but I guess they figure that's a good spot to push up to get that up out of there safely. It works. Feels like I cut myself. Wonder if I did. I got a scratch. I can feel that. Okay, so I'm just going to leave the lid off until I get back to side, in case I want back in there or anything. And then right now I'm going to go back to working on the card. Oh, I don't know where to put that screw. I need to put somewhere I won't lose it. I've got some old, I don't think I have a screw bottle for the server in here. These are my little in-house tools it's really for computers, this little toolbox here. It's got mostly computer screws, but this is my first server that I've ever worked on. I've been watching videos and learning for about at least a couple of years. But I got I've been messing with desktops and desktops for 22 years and laptops for about the last probably 10 years, I guess. But I haven't had a lot of laptops to mess with, just 3 really. Well, I've messed with some, say like figured out why they were overheating, which was I figured out real quick, because always the CPU pays, just about always. And helped a neighbor with a couple, 2, 3, and software. Like I put Linux on one for him, and anyway.
one of his. Yeah, see, I got all kinds of saved up. Spill them all in the server. All kinds of saved up screws. I got another one like that. I won't open that. Okay, so it's funny how many screws you can end up with. Not even really. I mean, I didn't try to save them, but I hardly ever, like throw an old computer box away. I always figure there's something you can use it for. And most of them I got's got, all but about 2 or 3's got motherboards in them and everything. But there was a couple that got, hit by lightning and stuff where I have taken some stuff out. Anyway, got some screws from buying hard drives back in CD-ROMs and stuff. Drives back in the day when you used to get screws with stuff. I guess you still do some, depending on what you're buying. But not near as many. Okay, the screw, I want to put it in something before I end up losing it. I had a small, I tried to keep bottles, a couple of bottles. Oh, I finally, hell, this one will do. This one right here, I always save my medicine bottle screws when they're empty. And that way you got something to put your screws in without losing them. Okay, server, I'll just put server on it right now. That won't necessarily help because I've turned so many desktops into server. DLs, yeah, hope I don't get it right. I can always use a different bottle. I can't erase this. 380 G7, DL380 G7. Okay. That's your first set of screws, and well, I'm not going to put it in there, but that is where I do it sometimes, so that if it's a machine I'm not using, I don't like to do it with a machine I'm using. I'm afraid I'll move the machine and not realize, and then I'll get into a fan or something. Then I'll turn it on. But if it's a machine I'm not using, I'm gonna take it out in the garage or something, I'll do that. Some people will put their install CDs and stuff in there. I've gotten computers like that before. They're real dusty, but they still work. But I tried it, but same thing. If you pick the thing up and carry it, it's going to end up in a fan. And I find that I want those CDs not in there, but handy. So I put them at my desk. I got 2 big old slide outs on this desk here. Okay, then I do that. Keep that kind of stuff. Okay, so let me get set up. Get on my desktop here. Having to take care of my sinus here. My nose. I thought I might find that and put it on in the video. Thought that'd be nice, but no. And I didn't flip it over, but that could be where it came out of. But I didn't want. I don't want to do it right now. It's heavy, so I'll do it. I'll do it before I put it back under the bed. When I get ready to put it up under the bed, I got to pick it up anyway. So it's good to manage your resources. There's no sense in wearing yourself out and straining your back more than once a day. I wore myself out running around trying to get everything working, dropping things. Okay, let's see. And I thought it'd be real simple because I've been streaming lately, let's see, 2 days in a row, and everything's. I still had to my camera that it's looking at me from up high there. I think you're on it. I see myself in there, but I'm not on it. I'm on the desktop. not used to a camera with the preview like that. These phones, you know, I turn them. I use the best camera, the one on the front-facing camera, I guess you'd say. And can't that way you can't see the screen when you do that, though. Okay, so okay, let me get. I'm still situating now.
Here, there we go. And good time to check the stream. Looks like it's okay. And the laptop, I have to remember to keep talking, or I won't hear the change. When I start to listen to my audio lately, I just stop talking and wait and listen, and I'm the one doing the talking. There we go. Heard it finally. It must be like about 20 seconds, I would say, of a delay. So then it's got me, you know, the last thing I said on the other mic, and then the time it takes me to get it switched and all that. Okay, so now we're back on the think of what I want to open up. First, I'll get the browser stuff opened up. Okay. Here's what the server is. HP ProLiant DL380 G7. So I remember that part right. And what I have in this one is 64 gig of RAM, two 6-core processors, are 2.53 gigahertz. So that's 12 cores. Plus the hyper-threading, it shows up as 24 cores in the hardware apps that I've looked at it with. And my other, you know, I didn't expect it to do that. I thought it would just show 12 because my 4 quad cores, and I built a 6-core for somebody and an 8-core that I have built for my mom, and I'm going to rebuild it with another motherboard because that one didn't work out so good. But they don't show up like that, and they're newer than the quad core. Yeah, it's a little newer too. This server was built in, I think, about 2010, maybe a little before that. I saw that in the dates of some of the, you know, software or something for it. I don't remember what I saw. It's in the manual, I think. Anyway, I have the manual. I have all the manuals, which is really cool. Downloaded them, you know, and okay, so let's just go ahead and open one of those up because it's everything that I'm talking about here. Seems to type. I've got 2 folders for it, and one's just general info. Another one's for mine. See, there's some of the manual stuff right there, but one that I want to open is the that's control what? Smart Array Controllers Reference Guide. Maybe it's gotten moved. This is organized by you know, the newest one on top. There it is. I don't know. I must have hit save. I must have. Maybe it asked me if I wanted to save them without thinking I hit save because the date's newer on it now. I didn't even look. You know, I didn't read the names because I expect to see it there. It should be open. Oh, usually if I click over in the other workspace quick enough, it'll open up in the other workspace. But I was too slow. Okay, so this is the last place where I left off. That's one thing I like about this PDF reader. It does that, and that's usually helpful. Okay, so down here is where pertinent information is. PCIe X16 riser supports a maximum of 150 watts with the HP power cable. This cable must be used for PCIe card wattages greater than 75 watts. So you can do up to 75 watts in the slot. Total. Okay, the riser supports 150 watts. I think that means each riser then. I was thinking, okay, do I have 150 watts total, you know, for the whole server? I'm still not 100% sure about that, but I wouldn't put another video card or anything. But I do want to. I know for sure, at least the only thing I know for sure right now that I need is a audio card. See, I'm going to turn this into like a hot rod desktop machine. You know, super powerful. I mean, the one I'm using right now is a quad 4 cores with 4 gig RAM. The other one 64 gig, 24 cores usable. You know, 16 real. So. And then I can actually edit videos and stuff. I mean, I've done it over the years, but all my machines that I use are in here in my bedroom with me, and the only way I can really do it, it'll take, especially if I tend to do long videos even when I'm editing them, and so they're usually an hour or more, and you know, I have to go to sleep with it doing it, and back with my older machines, it'd take a day or two, you know, and the quad core. I've done it once, a couple of times, but not with anything really big. It's actually the quietest one and makes the less heat. And the biggest problem is the heat they make. The other ones, they can do it, but they make so much heat I can't take it, you know, because it gets hot in here all the time. This room doesn't get enough air conditioning. But, let's see. I'm not going to go over this chart again. That's the chart of what each PCI slot is and how the primary and secondaries, that's the slots on the board, and then the risers, this is the risers. I'm not going to go into that again, but what I will go into is, let's see, I think that's how I found it. I'm using the search, Control F search, you know, but I guess that's not what am I looking for? Power supply. So here's what the motherboard looks like there. Well, of course, you've seen it, so that looks better than this. But okay, the power supply backplane connector. What am I looking for? Riser. Primary riser connector. Well, that's not what I was looking for anyway. I just remembered. I'm looking for the specs on the power supplies. There we go. Now, they have 3 different power supplies. You can get a 1200 watt, you can get a 750 watt, and I did see a pair of 750 watts online for about $26 or $29, I think it was. So I could get them, but I don't need really for that. Spending more money and all that on it. It's not a real need. The one I would be nice. The video card I'm looking at is 8 gigabyte, but it needs 150 watts of power, and so that's maxing this thing out. It will do it. That's what I'm getting at. It's for their 460 watt power supplies, but like I just read, it'll do 150 watts on the right, either on both risers total or on one of them. That's what I'm not 100% sure about. And I've looked and looked. I don't really know where to find it, But, and the cool thing about these service power supplies is that down here on the, steady state power, 460 watts. Maximum power, 460. You don't see that in desktop power supplies. They'll say they're, they're all different. That's what you got to really watch out when you're buying one. Let's say you buy when you go to the page where, and the, let me go back to where I was. I like putting it back there, and I'll get on the website about what I'm talking about. It's on Amazon where I found. You can buy me, several places, but I do pretty good with Amazon, so let's go ahead and close that, I guess. Okay, so let's go to computer parts. No, video cards. And this is, research I've done on different things, but and I don't know. Since around the time I bought this, or maybe before, but anyway, on this, which one is This is it. Yeah, it says it was 149. Now it's 139, and I think it was. I think when the first time I looked at it, it was 139, and then it went up, and then went back down, I think. Anyway, this is it. MSI makes one, the same processor and everything. It just looks a little different, and it's usually $10 or $20 higher. And the review spec, when you count this one has 4.3 out of 5, and the overall 69% 5 stars and 9% 1. That's the main things I look at. And the MSIs are they go back and forth, and they're not that different. There'll be people that say the MSIs are better, and then there's other people. And then one thing for me, I'm running Fedora Linux, and I'm going to put Fedora 32 on it, and probably I'll just do Fedora 32 with Mate Desktop instead of the server edition, because I've installed Fedora Server 3 times now, I think, and put the desktop on it, but it's pretty. First time, once I figured out how to do it, I was like, oh, that's not too bad once you learn how. But then the next time, different versions, like I started at 27 or 28. And the last time I did it on 29, you have to go. I could not get it to just bring you up the login screen. You have to log in on the command line and then type startx. And I definitely don't want that on the machine I'm using every day. Because what I'm planning on doing is using it like a desktop, and if I want, because it's too much heat and too loud. Even if I think I'm going to probably put it under the bed because it'll kind of muffle some of the noise. But I'll hear it when I'm in bed, And if it ramps up for some reason, something happens. If I was running it as a server, then it'd be running all day and all night. I know that's going to make too much heat. It's not going to be too bad before. That's the other thing. 460 watt power supplies aren't going to make near as much heat as a 750. It only uses one at a time. The other one's just a backup. They don't run together. And at least I haven't seen anything that says that. And from what I've learned, most servers, that's the way they are. They're just redundant. They're not sharing, And so actually, for at least last 10, maybe 15 years, every power supply I had until I got this Lenovo here, they were 450, 550. Let's see, I didn't have a 650, but I put a 650 in Mom's, so when I was getting ready to build it up as an 8-core, that's what I needed. That's one of the things. The previous video, I went on and on about that and explaining what I learned about it, but consumer power supplies, you got the problem you have. The big problem you have is they. I won't go too much into this, but so just showing that picture. The big problem they have is you have with them is that they cannot. They love to. Well, some of them just flat out lie about what they'll do. But just say you get a decent one that it has good spec. It has the specs you're looking for, and it has. Good reviews, they're not just flat out lying. You can find out if they're lying by looking at the reviews usually, or if they're made so poorly that they blow up, or just die. I've seen pictures of where power supplies and other electronics parts just flat short out, and I've seen where they even destroyed some people's computers, But so I didn't. Okay, let's go back over here. I just remembered what was getting me on that track. Okay, right here, where is it? Where's the telling you how wonderful it is? Okay, right here it says minimum power supply requirement 500 watt. Now, I've been researching. When you go onto the manufacturer's website, it actually says minimum 500, suggested 550 watt. But they don't tell you anywhere on the manufacturer website that I could find what actual wattage. I got that. Way I got the 150 was in research. I found an article about this this processor, and the problem with that, before I forget, the problem with consumer power supplies is they will say, let's say it says it's a 500 watt, and an article that wasn't an article, it was a forum post. a guy was not understanding that, and they were trying to tell him, look, your power supply is not big enough. That's probably why you're having trouble. He had a 500 watt that he'd had for several years, and it worked good for him. He thought there's nothing wrong with it, but it was peak 500 watts and constant 384 watts. So that's not going to cut it, you know. At least not, even if it would cut it, it's going to go burn out. And I can tell you that because I've had enough of them burn out, because I didn't know you couldn't push them, you know. I didn't know that they were, some of them were even lying about the specs, you know. But I've had a 350 watt go out on the first machine I built. My mom's old, this box where I was putting the 8-core in, her power supply that came with it. I bought those kits at Tiger Direct, different brands and stuff, but the 450 watt went out on hers after a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and she only used the computer once every month or 3, you know. And she darn sure didn't push it. And so that's when I bought the 650 watt, because I knew at some point I was going to upgrade it. And so anyway, give yourself some headroom, you know, quite a bit. I would say give yourself 50 to 100 watts of headroom of the constant rating too, not the top rating, not the, you know, what they advertise it, but at the constant rating. That's why I was showing that constant rating on the server power supply. So let's see, when you get on down here, I kind of forgot which thing I wanted to go on to next. And I'm debating, I really want to get this because let me see, the best way for me to find the rest of those links is to search in my bookmarks and then go on down here. Of course, there's all their blurb about it, but it's 8 gigabyte GDDR5 RAM, graphics RAM, and I don't really pay a lot of attention. Not 700. I keep thinking, I was thinking 700. That ain't much. It's 7,000 megahertz. Now that makes more sense. And on the processor. And here's something. You notice it's I'll put it up here in my search bar. RX570RS is what they call it. But the processor is RX470. And they do that on every one of them. And all the brands do that. And I was like, well, what a ripoff. You know, I haven't bought a new graphics card since back when you really needed one. And they were both 512 megabytes, you know, back in the days when if you didn't have a dedicated graphic card, your machine wasn't hardly usable, you know. So they still work better. This machine that I'm streaming from has got, it's basically a laptop in a box. It's a i5 processor, quad core, 4 gig of RAM, and an onboard 256 megabytes of video memory. And so it's no hot shot, but I probably couldn't still be using it if I was running Windows 7, or I don't think it would run Windows 10 at all. Well, I quit Windows in 2005, but Linux is a lot less resource hungry. Even Fedora is. It's the not the most resource hungry Ubuntu is, but I can't stand using that thing. But Debian is really light. I'm running it on my single core 1.6 gigahertz laptop up there, and I'm running it as my web server. I need to do something different, but I've got the old desktops they all got where the fans are making too much noise, and they do make too much heat, and I got tired of all that heat in here. And the you know, the fans went. I didn't want to buy new fans for them. They were free, and they're not really worth spending a bunch of money on. And but right now it's actually, I've got my preview on, and it will play it, but it sure does. It doesn't take it 5 minutes to start ramping up that fan. And I play it for hours and hours, but after about 3 or 4 hours, it gets to where I have to shut it down. It's kind of funny because used to I would just reboot it, and then the fan would just quieten down instantly, and then I could open the browser back up. It'd be better if I waited a while and then opened it back up. Let it cool down some more. But the last 3 days, if I just reboot it and don't open the browser, it's still running 100 miles an hour. But if I shut it all the way down and then start it back up, maybe something in the controls going a little wonky, because if it was really still that hot, then It's the web browser that works them so hard. Web browser, the only thing that I see works a machine harder than a web browser that I use is video editing, a video encoder, the encoding part of the video, or transcoding videos. Just take some videos and transcode them, to a different format, different codec. So that's what I'll be glad to be able to do, those sort of things on the server with all the power it's got. Way cheaper than building a desktop machine too. Since I already had Mom's box, already had her. I bought her 650 watt power supply, and it was about $75, 3 or 4 years ago. And so the processor was 100 and something, AMD 8300 8-core, and the memory I got 8. That's the most that motherboard would handle. I got 8 gig of memory for $50 to $65. I can't remember now. And I paid $300 total for this server, and with all that power. So I thought about that years ago, but there wasn't really anybody putting video cards and servers, and you couldn't use them without it, unless you just want to use it as a server. Back 20 years ago. But in the last few years, in the last 10 years, of course, 10 years ago when these were new, they were, I don't know how much they were. I mean, a brand new HP of that type. Let's see. I've seen videos of the guy Morton, my Playhouse channel. He's taught me just about everything I know about servers. I watch some other people's stuff, but he does it. That's what he does for a living. And so sometimes he'll go into a server room and show a brand new server. And I mean, like $20,000-$30,000 for some of these brand new servers. I don't know what this one was. It'd be kind of interesting to see what it was when it was new, but I'm sure you could get an idea. Anyway, I don't want this thing. I'm sure it can handle it safely. I definitely don't want to push it hard, but I don't want it making lots of noise trying to cool down. But this thing does have. Probably be better to look on their website. I'll see, where did I see all that? That's why I copied that to narrow everything down. My links to just this one here. Doesn't even really have to say XF, that brand. But go by website here. Okay, so oh yeah, and I have to get a cable, because I'm going to need a long cable. The cables that come with it wouldn't work anyway. They have an 8-pin to 6 and a 6 to 4. I think they're giving you something so that you could actually plug it into a Molex, plug those two together. I've seen pictures of people doing that, which I guess is fine as long as your power rail can support 150 watts on your power supply. But if you've gotten all Molex, you don't have any of those 8-pin connectors, and you probably, well, no, I wouldn't. That's not right, really, because they've always sold big power supplies. I guess that's why they do that. So, trying to find the link that I wanted to show. Okay, that's MSI. Here's XFX, I think. Yeah. No. What is that? Maybe that is it. It's talking. Well, there's their web. Oh no, that's the Amazon. That may be their website. I just thought it would be XFX. But, yeah, this is their website. Let me check my audio before I go on. Okay. So this is the, I can't say that good for some reason, XFX. This is their website. They give you kind of a basic rundown here. And it just says on there, Windows 10 support. But the reason I knew that it should work is what I just started to say that before. If it supports OpenGL and OpenCL both, then it should work on Linux. So that's why I thought, okay, I can probably run this. I still wasn't real comfortable, not knowing for sure. But then I saw that link. It took me. I've looked at this page on how many times. I just found it a couple of days ago. The specs link, and I'm not going to, of course, go through the whole thing. I just want to. So well, what it does, the ports it has is 3 display ports, which I don't have anything that uses that, and that was a, but it has a HDMI, one of those, and a DVI-D. My monitor's a DVI-D, and so that's fine. I can either, I thought first of all I'll have to buy one of those long DVI-D cables if I'm going to keep it way over yonder, but I've got a 30-foot HDMI that I never did use. I was going to run from my computer to a TV and never used it. And brand new cable just been sitting around. So I've got an adapter that'll plug into my DVI-D and it works. I got an old Raspberry Pi and I plug it in there sometimes. Actually, it's plugged in right now. But down here in the requirements in this area, I finally found for sure which pins it had. It has 8 pins. That's the only spot where I saw that. And some of them have the PDF I downloaded from here. It showed 2 8-pin connectors. I thought, does it really have that? But they weren't. That was just in general, you know, and they weren't saying which models. So this one, it says supply requirement 500 watts, recommended 550. They don't tell you how much this thing actually uses itself. And I found that on a different site that was a review site, and it's actually that rate. It says Radeon RX 570, and it's a different brand card they have to test, but I've figured out those are all the same. They're probably going to be the same amount of, draw, because the only thing that would really be different is the fans. Maybe some other things that I don't know about, but I don't think it would be significant. And then what comes with the package there is the 8-pin to 6-pin and 6-pin to 4-pin. And it had me scratching my head for a little bit until I saw those pictures when I was looking things up. I was looking at pictures of them because I was trying to find how many pins they had on them, before I found this page. Finally found one. And then they give you a driver installation guide and a DVD. The newer machines don't have DVDs. I've got them on most of mine, but I don't on the server, but I'm not going to be running Windows anyway, so unless I decided to run. And if I want to run anything besides, Fedora 32, what's the new one out now, I've been using VirtualBox for years, and I'll just put whatever I want to in there. And this thing will be able to handle. I can run them like, I can give them 4 or 8 gig of RAM if I want to, and I give them however much. And if I have a big video card, I should be able to pass the video in through there. But it might just take it out of the RAM, but that's fine either way. Morton was setting one up for editing videos, and he wanted to pass the video card. He was using IBM, so he likes them. He was trying to pass them through to use the video GPU to encode videos because it was faster. And he just tried, and it never would work right. I think he finally succeeded in later videos he's mentioned, but he did say he has a couple of HPs. He's got a G6, and the other day he was doing on somebody gave him a single rack space. This is a 2-rack space, 2U, and anyway, he's mentioned, it's actually easier to put video cards in the HPs than the IBMs usually, so of the same age group. But and then their weight and all that stuff. So, but passing it through to virtual machine might get into a little more work. But I think I'll be just fine whether I can use the GPU to render videos or not in this thing with 64 gig of RAM and 2 6-core processors. So I don't think I have a problem. I don't see why I couldn't render videos while I'm surfing the internet and doing everything else I want to do, unless sometimes if you're doing on regular machines, regular desktops, if you're doing other things, you're very likely to jack something up. It might make it drop some frames or something and jack up the render because it's just about all the machine can do. But and the web browser's got to where, of the things I do, I don't hardly ever render videos, so the things I do is the most resource hungry. And there are always some bugs in browsers. I don't care which one. I can't even use Chrome. It just uses too many resources. I don't like Chrome anyway. When I do, I use not that one. What is it? Chromium. I always call it the granddaddy of Chrome because this is the open source project that Chrome was built off of. that is just the blue one. Other blue one is Firefox Quantum Developer. That's the developer version, and I have, I just don't have any. It's got some tools in it, but I have my own website. I run my own server. I was talking about I run it on my laptop. I've ran them on desktops for years and years, but since around 05 or 06, right after I got into Linux, and that's the one we're in right now, the regular Firefox. So this review's taking forever, but it's also how I'm getting my head back around what do I want to do. So, whoops. I'm reviewing what I did already. That's what I'm doing, but it's kind of how I kind of need to do it, I guess, to move on. But let's see. Oh, the drivers. So I didn't, until just yesterday, right before I quit, I didn't look up the drivers, and I found them in the support section. And sure enough, they've got Red Hat Linux drivers, x86 64-bit, and yeah, that should be okay because my processor Xeon, Intel Xeon processors, yeah, okay. They're 64-bit, I know that. And I guess they're in the x86 family. I hadn't thought about that till just now. But I already booted it up to Fedora 29, I think it was. Yeah. When I first got it, I've had it for about 10 months. When I first got it, I booted it to Fedora 29 with Mate Desktop. It ran fine, except for it's only got 64 megabyte of onboard memory and video memory. And, the video was a little, couldn't do much because it would start getting behind. And then CentOS is also built off of Red Hat. It's a server distro built off of Red Hat distribution. But it's that's probably why they haven't had to make a driver for it, because it's quite a bit different. I tried it once to use for a server, but you have to do all the admin in the command line, and I always make mistakes trying to do that. I swap letters and numbers and stuff. So I like distros with GUIs so that I can do as little as possible. Have to, in the command line. But it's a new driver, or 16.20.20, and they got two of them there. I don't need to download them. I hate those stupid cookie things. I will not click on them because that I understand means, okay, yeah, put all the heck you want on my machine. And when my browser closes, it deletes them anyway. Well, not all of them, but I think what I've got set up is to where I put in the ones that it doesn't delete and then delete everything else. Not only does it, tracking and all that, but it also slow down your browser way more than you might think, leaving all that crap in there. And it's using up your bandwidth for nothing but they're snooping, So, and some of them are malicious. You go through some site and hit the ad. Well, I'll go off on that, but ads are can be very dangerous, and that's one reason I use ad blocker mostly because all the blinking and all that crap. I couldn't even surf the internet, but it also helps protect you because that's one of the best ways people have, hackers have for getting malware onto websites. It may be pretty hard to hack that website's administration, but if they hack where the ads are coming from, or put up a fake ad, spoof that ad site, and then it gets picked up with code injection and stuff, then it could be anywhere. An ad could be malicious on any site. Easier that way than breaking into some of the servers. Or it was last time I checked. It changes so fast. But Ubuntu has drivers for Ubuntu and Slez. I don't even know what that is. Never heard of it. And it's a Linux distro, Sled. I wonder if that's Slez. I can't imagine. I bet if you got in there, like read the release notes or something, might be something you might want to know. Let's see. They could have made up their own abbreviation for something that I might want to know about. Let's see. But that's why I'm not closing that box, because it's the only way you can close it. Just say okay. That other thing that hacks me off. If I couldn't read it at all, I might use AdBlock to try to block that particular pop-up, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see. It's just saying you agree, you know, to their terms if you install it, but it's not really saying what the heck SLAS is or whatever it was. It seems like this, maybe you're getting them all in that. They're all listed there. Maybe it was there and I didn't see it because of the box. Try to go back now. Oh, I opened up in a new window, didn't I? I do that a lot so I won't lose my place. That's the agreement. And there's your, you know, how to do stuff. Errors, those are the common errors, evidently. So, but Fedora comes with, it should come with some open source drivers that if they, I don't even use 3D. I don't play games or anything. I used to always install these kind of, you know, these proprietary drivers because I thought, well, I need it to all work just like, you know, like it's meant to. But after years, and it's funny because people are saying now that MSI don't work well, you know, cards don't work well in Linux, but AMD Radeon's do. And I'm like, what? The last time I did it, you know, Fedora 14 is the last time I actually did it. And that box is still there, just like it was. And because I saved it because I love all the software that's in it that you can't get. It's a bunch of it you can't get anymore. You don't use it very often, but anyway, I installed a proprietary driver for an AMD video card. I bought one not really realizing that was going to be a problem, you know, back then. And I didn't realize you needed to pay attention. And it kept not working, and it said, now you can force install it, but you won't be able to uninstall it. Well, I forced installed it, and it worked. But then I had some problems later, and I really wanted it out of there. No way I found. I searched high and low. You couldn't uninstall it. You'd have to go into find every folder and every entry and every file where it's mentioned to get that completely out of there. And I knew that would break things, so I've left it in there. And what you can, if you put a different card in there or something, then you can just disable. It has an onboard video, and I've actually got the card out now. It's sitting up there on top of my TRS-80, and it fan went bad in it, and I decided I was going to make it silent and just put a big heat sink on it, and I never have done it. And so anyway, just the other day, I kept leaving the etc x11 file like it was, and so it wouldn't boot. You know, I had it all plugged in, but it wouldn't show a GUI. I would try to and then quit. And so the other day, I finally just got in there and fixed it. All you have to do is delete the etc. I backed it up to make sure I didn't lose it, but I deleted it, rebooted, and it automatically sees the onboard video, sees whatever's plugged in, and made a new etc x11 file. So they don't do that anymore. You've got to do a little more. They quit that about Fedora 17 or 18 or something. They did it. They're doing it different. They don't even use X11 desktop now. They use a different desktop, different window. I'm sorry, window manager. That's not a desktop. It's a window manager. But anyway, so I won't even download one of these drivers. I don't know what the deal is with that right there. That SLES. Maybe it's saying it right there, and I just do not see it. But yeah, this is the one it would most likely run on Fedora, not the CentOS. Yeah. Oh, I see. This one is Real and CentOS. What's the difference between Real and CentOS? And that was Real and CentOS. 8.1, 7.8. Well, they give them different names, but they're really, this is, that's 8.1. I would really have to get in there and read and pay attention. But anyway, and the Ubuntu driver might just work, I would think, on Debian if you're running Debian, because, you know, if you're running Debian, you probably know that Ubuntu is built off of Debian. It's a remix of Debian, basically. What Fedora calls them is remixes or spins. But so that's really good to find that out because I don't want to spend $140 to find out that I can't use it on anything I got. I wouldn't need it on that 8-core because it's building it from a mom, and it's got a 1 gig onboard video. I bought an Azus. Well, the card I got in there doesn't have a video, but the one that I'm going to put in it is an Azus with 1 gig of onboard memory, video GPU, and that's more than she'll need. You know, she never had a single problem with her 512 megabyte card. You know, she doesn't do anything but get on the internet and check her email. You know, she can shop on the internet and check her email. So she don't even do Facebook, and I'm so glad. I wouldn't want to have to help her mess with that. But anyway, you know, I'm not social. Other than making videos, I love when people share knowledge with me, and if I learn something, I like to share it. And I've always been into video. I've always liked doing it. I used to mix sound for bands, and I volunteered on and ran camera and stuff on a couple of cable TV shows about Christian rock music and stuff back in the 90s. And one was Christian rock, and the other one was Christian rap. And I did sound for Christian rock and metal and punk and hardcore bands and stuff. I really enjoyed that. But all right, what's the other thing? I think this is the PDF I was talking about. This is the quick install. All it is a quick install. Make it bigger there. And see, this is what I was talking about. Every one of these images shows 2 8-pin connectors, and it's good because it shows you the kind of adapters will work and the kind you shouldn't use. You know, like if you've already got the 2 8-pins on this case, use them. If you've got I don't know, I'm not going to read it, but it tells you, like, don't do it like this. You know, don't go from a single 8-pin to a dual 8-pin. Don't go from 2 8-pins. Don't go from 2 8-pins or 6 pins, I think it is. Yeah, don't go from 2 8-pins to 1 8-pin either. So that's the thing that I really got out of that was good. And yeah, there's that form in my. That's the form I was talking about. I'm not going to go there. I'll probably go off talking about it. Okay. Yeah, let's go to see if that'll. Yeah, that's every entry and well, I mean, a search for just that basic, the Radeon RX7, and you know this one here is 139. What is this one? This one, yeah, it's a 570. I don't remember seeing this one. Let's see. It probably, I don't know, let's find out. 131, free shipping. Oh yeah, they have a dual BIOS. So one's meant for gaming and one's meant for cryptocurrency mining. And I saw 2 tricks you might use them for. One, it says it in their site. If you get your settings all out of whack and your machine won't boot because you like overclocked it too much or whatever, just flip the switch and it'll boot again. And I guess then you can shut down and flip it back if you want it back on gaming. But I saw where somebody said, I doubt it, but somebody said, if you want to get more power out of it, put it on cryptocurrency and you'll get more power. Now that forum I was talking about, a guy bought one of these and put it in a desktop machine, like a Dell or something. I don't remember what it was now. And let's see what I want to know is, this looks like the same card. It's got the same connections on it. Wondering why it's cheaper. Definitely, if it's cheaper, I'll buy it. But I thought it would end up being a different card. I'm going to put it in my favorites before I lose this page. Sometimes, you know, I don't know how many times I've looked at these searches, and I haven't seen one marked down a little more like this. It could be another. Well, I started to say it could be another seller, but what they do is they group sellers. You know, like you can, if you want to see, like this is probably the page I just came off of. you can click on that link saying, check from other sellers. And, oh, and the ratings. I guess anybody that shops on Amazon, same ratings. Probably figure it out. You also got to consider in your ratings is, do they, how many other cards, like looking at the pictures real quick will help you figure that out. How many other cards are actually in these reviews? It's not always this one. That's not it right there. Of course, I'm just jumping to conclusions, but yeah, see, that's something else. Yeah, that's a different version. Actually, did I see MSI? This is not MSI. Is that what's different about it? No, it's XF. Yeah, that was a different one, 590. People do have trouble with them, and I think some of them actually are bad, DOA when they get them, but I'm beginning to think that most of this trouble is because they just really don't take it seriously about the size of their power supply. I've seen in the reviews on this one, yeah, this is a bunch of different, I guess that one came with bent deals or something. I see a bunch of reviews where people say, oh, I can run it on a 250 watt power supply. And it does have some software that's built into the driver, but it may only be in the Windows driver, that you can turn back the power if you're having trouble with it overdoing your power supply. Your system can't handle it. I wouldn't buy it depending on that though, myself. But I think that's a different model number. Let's see. Let's go up to the top. It's usually in the title. Yeah, there it is. I don't know what would be different about it and why. Let me look again and make sure I didn't miss the back. No, it says XFX, same brand. So, that's this one. And then I found that one somewhere else on Google, probably Google Shopping. No longer available from the store you picked. Oh, okay. Doesn't matter. That's not where I was wanting to figure out. Okay, so, yeah, I had never, this is the link I just made to it. So, I found it once, but it was probably some weird store that I didn't trust, because otherwise I would have the link to that store itself, not just the Google Shopping. That's just kind of what I do. But it's the same reviews as the other one. Look, the pictures are different, but same basic reviews. Yeah, same percents, I believe. So, I mean, if I was going to get it from Amazon, I might as well get it there. But let's go back. It's funny when you go down to the bottom and look at all that stuff. It will give you. I'm gonna hit the back button. My mouse has the back button on it, back and forward button. I hit that button. And, now it's back to my link. Saying that I already saved the link. Sometimes I end up with 3 or 4 links because I thought I saved that, and I'll do it again. I just want to make sure it's not actually different somehow. Okay. But I wanted to check one more time before I decided if I was going to buy it, because kind of scanning this because I don't know if these are different. They look like they are different, these questions in the other page. They keep talking about some games that you're getting for free, looks like. Which, if I did play a game, it would just be a open source Linux game. The only games I used to play back in the early mid, well, kind of throughout the 90s, but mostly in the early 90s. My friend was a big gamer, and I'd go see him. He had an Xbox and all that stuff, and a PS2, and well, he had PS2s first, but I think he got an Xbox later. But anyway, we'd play racing games. Need for Speed was the only one I liked, and Force Unleashed, it was good. Need for Speed, Force Unleashed, and he actually bought I couldn't really do the controllers good, and he bought a steering wheel with a foot pedal so I could drive, and it helped me a lot. It was fun then. But of course, he played games ever since he was like 3 years old. I don't know, probably started in junior high or something. So, and I was in my I was 35 in like 92 or something like that. So he's about 7 or 8 years younger than me. So, we're old. And so they didn't have that stuff when I was growing up, and it really just irritated me, all the noises. Those first ones, Pong, and I don't remember then they come out with those, I can't think of the names of them. It all irritated the crap out of me. The racing games I like, and the flight simulator games. I was going to say, on the computer, I used to play that by myself. Wasn't playing it, it's a flight simulator for learning, it's a game, but you could pick fantasy planes, or you could pick, I played the Microsoft one, and I also played one on Linux that I like better because it didn't have any restrictions or anything. But, you fly B-52s, and you can fly space planes and Cessnas, and lots of planes. And it could have real-time weather from the real world and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So with me getting my brain, okay, so I'm glad I looked at that. I just had a feeling I should just go look at that search result, even though I didn't really think I needed to. Okay, that's that one. What I want is back to the search results I had a while ago. So, there they are. Let's go there next. I didn't really finish looking. Now, this is the one I've been looking at. I don't know why they're different. I'm going to open them both to see if there's anything I can see. Maybe they're a slightly different model or something. Well, they have a different model number. 3.0 graphics card. Red and black. They look alike. And they have the same ports. That's not a 4 gigabyte, is it? It's a 4 gigabyte. That's why it's not in my favorites, because the 4 gigabytes are 109 on the other pages. Got to pay attention. Remove that. Did you already know that? Been yelling at me? So, yeah, 8 gigabytes. See, that's why I keep going, okay, I think, well, if this thing will run it, I'm getting it. I keep thinking that. Because if my machine will run it safely, then I got to looking at that information about the PCI bus and the 150 watt max and all, and I thought, okay, I think that's on the motherboard and everything, can only handle that. And I don't want to get in the situation where I can't add any other cards. That's the big thing, because I do know I want a audio card. But I have a couple of I got an old Sound Blaster. And they're pretty old, but as long as they sound good, it doesn't make any difference, because really, only thing they've done is add, 5.1 and all that, and I don't do anything but stereo in here. I've got a machine, the first machine I built back in 02 or something like that, it came with a 7-channel digital and analog audio card. But half of it, it's really weird, because half of it's on the board, and the other half is, the connectors and everything, and a little ribbon cable going up from the board to it. So you can't use it anywhere else, or I would have already done that, because it's better than any sound card I've ever had. The sound card I'm using right now works fine, but it's on board, really considered a cheapo, low-end sound card, that's on this thing here. And I've heard sound cards that came with, name brand computers, HPs especially, they're more about office work. They have terrible sound cards, but regular Dell or whatever brand, it doesn't really matter. Any kind of dedicated sound card, I don't care if it's 20 years old or more, it's liable to sound great, if it's a decent one. And of course, you got to be able. It's a regular. I'm talking about PCI. I've got some ISA cards still. The one before that, if you don't know what ISAs are, they're really, really long connectors. You'll know when they won't fit. So I think I'll put some price in here. Let's see. I don't want 0. I'll put $10, and then I'll put 150. I'm not gonna go over 140 really, but let's just see. There's that one again. Pay attention. Yeah, you can, like you can say how many. You can say 8 gig only, but then you'll end up seeing some of the others in there anyway. So yeah, there's a Sapphire brand. They go back and forth. Sometimes they're cheaper, and sometimes they're higher. That's pretty high for. What is that? That's a 4 gigabyte, 175. I'm really trying to get you, aren't they? That's a 570, 4 gig. They write it different. Another 4 gig. There's an MSI 189. That's more than $20 more. That's a 580 though. Now here's the one I was talking about, a 560. That's the next one down. That's a 4 gig, 109. That would be, but the more I look, I saw something about, I don't know for sure if it was this one, but it looked like they were saying, because I didn't remember, the model numbers or anything. That was one of the pages I was reading. Looked like this one drove 120 watts. So, that's not that much less. And so for $30 more, I can have double the card. So, there's a 2 gigabyte for $100. 200 for that, whatever it is. I thought I just said I didn't want to go over 150. That one has no price on it. Got a watch too. I found one that was I thought it looked fishy because it had this kind of a cover on it, but it looked old style, and it was saying it was real big for a really, really cheap price. And I started looking, and what I did is I right click, search by image. That's the way I found out. It was all over the place that it was a scam and it was a fake card. It was really a 512 megabyte card. And it stayed on Amazon forever. And it's gone. Maybe I'll show you that. Well, it's just a page saying it's gone. There's an 8 gigabyte. Another MSI. Well, the MSIs have been down closer to the prices of, at least closer to 140, but I mean 150. They're up again. 2 gigabyte. Yeah, I'm just not going to spend that much money on a, quarter of the card or half or a quarter of the card. So I'm pretty sure now that I almost feel like, well, if I'm going to get it, no. Like, when you see something on a good deal, you're afraid it'll go away real quick. But it might not. You never know. With used parts, But I was saying earlier, I found the 750 megabyte, 750 watt power supplies from a server for $29, free shipping. I thought, dang, maybe I should just get them. But I don't want to just waste money, for nothing. And those don't even have their price on them. So, it's kind of got me deciding, really. But I still need that cable. I may have to just go ahead and order it. I know they're going to go back on the price. I thought they might yesterday at midnight, but then I remember today is, but I wore myself out. I was too tired to go on. I just went to bed. I quit at about 12:30. And by the time I got in bed, it was 2:30, 3:30. And then I didn't wake up. I was so tired because I wore myself out that day. Just all day I got up real early, like 4:30, 5:30. And so I slept till 6 this evening. I had just been on days for about 2 or 3 days. I get my schedule screwed up all the time. I'm retired, and so I don't have to get up and go anywhere. Anyway, I think this is it. Now, I found a cable that I think would work, but it's actually the kind that they tell you not to use, but it doesn't actually say it's for my model of server. checking my audio. It says it's for a newer model. On Amazon. I didn't look anywhere else, but I would like to just order them together, you know, at the same time. But oh, now it says only 18 left. Of course, that could have been there. I don't know. I didn't pay any attention. But I can put it in the cart and stuff, but I don't want to show the whole order. I know I'd be showing my personal information without realizing. I won't even realize it. But that's the one I'm going to get. So I'll put it in the cart. And then I always make screenshots of stuff as I order it to keep a good record, you know. No, I do not want, and things like that. No, I do not want to pay $30 for nothing. Okay, now I'm going to just go back to that page. Tell me what I just showed. Even I don't think it shows your account number or nothing right there. But I usually skip all the junk in the middle. All their how wonderful our product stuff is. And I've already downloaded that. That manual, that's just that quick start guide. That's what I showed you a while ago. The questions aren't usually that important to keep, but I'll do it this time. And of course, those reviews, they're changed. I'm not going to do the rest of that. Sometimes if there's a review that I really like, I'll do the screenshot because it helps me, because, you know, they'll change every day. But, yeah, the pictures, I don't guess I showed the pictures for this one. Lots of, mostly just people's builds. I didn't see any, you know, of it being blowed up or anything, a computer being blowed up or it being blowed up. But, well, I went, but anyway, my only concern now really is that I might end up having to buy more power supplies to add stuff. But kind of think now that both rails might be able to handle 150 watts. I don't know. I think there's a 50-50 chance of that. But anyway, that's the pictures is first thing I look at. The average, like I like it to be 69, not that. I like to see 70 to 85. That's about the best you're going to get 5-star ratings, and as low as you can find of 1-star ratings. And I've already looked at the 1 stars and everything, and I know what they said. But the big thing that I've seen is some of them may actually be going out and they're having to send them back, but that's with everything these days. But the big things, well, I think I said that earlier. The guy in the forum post, I just got interested in it and actually read over it in my video yesterday for a couple of hours and explained what I thought might be his problem. And he did end up buying a bigger power supply. I know his power supply wouldn't be enough, and it fixed part of his problem, but not all of it. And he was using Adobe After Effects, I think, and he was rendering videos. He was encoding videos, and he was getting the weirdest thing. And in that, he didn't. The last post, he didn't get that to go away. But I wasn't going to show that. Oh, that's that other model number. Let's see. Sometimes some of my links have that model number in it. Some of them don't. And I think I'll show that. Look at that one more time, since I keep talking about it. Forums, is that it? Yeah, that's it. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if you want to, this is in 2019. This thing came out probably in 2018 or 2019. I'm just going to go on down. I've gone through this. If you really want to see all about that. And there's another page too that I didn't know about until yesterday when I was making my video. But the very last one, And I went through and explained everything I've learned and what the people were saying in here, kind of going back and forth about that. And for the most part, they're really giving him good advice. But here's his last thing. This is what he gets when he tries to render a video. And the first page shows what software he's using. I should have showed that. If you look at that, I have seen something somewhat like that, but I'm pretty sure that is a software issue, or the software's not working with his card. Pretty sure that's what's doing that. I've seen some things somewhat like that before. A video rendering with a GPU, I was never able to do it with my 512 megabyte card because I got some weird stuff. I don't remember what it looked like. It's been too many years ago. I don't use that, proprietary software. I use open source stuff. But back in my Windows days, I used freeware and shareware. Now, ever since 05, I use open source stuff. Got to be something special for me to buy it, And so anyway, sometimes you think, oh, it'll never work, and then if you change the settings, I usually have to. I'm not big into rendering videos, and I've learned about it ever since they invented the digital video stuff, but I don't do it. I make videos a lot, but I don't, edit and render videos a lot. I used to think I wanted to do it for a job, but I got a job in a video editing place, where they let people come in and edit their VHS tapes, and they decided to make me the manager, and I found out I wasn't a manager type, and they brought somebody else to be the manager, and I didn't like that, so I quit. And they weren't paying me nothing. It wasn't worth staying there anyway. $5 an hour in '95 or something like that, and I'd been making $16.60 an hour in '92 when I got laid off from General Dynamics. I was trying to switch careers, and boy, you really work for nothing when you switch careers. Anyway, especially in audio and video and stuff, everybody wants to do that. Too many volunteers. I volunteered mostly the whole time I did it, but I was doing it for church type stuff. So that's the other thing. You generally have to volunteer if you're going to do church stuff too. Where is that? I guess if I search for, I don't want to read this. There we go. So he says what he's doing here, he's using the GPU accelerator in Adobe Premiere, not After Effects, an encoder, as well as ray tracing in Adobe After Effects. There we go. As well as ray tracing in Adobe After Effects. Yeah, ray tracing is for, well, they use it for games. I know that because I see that all the time. You don't see a lot of people talking about this, and this is what I'm going to do with it. So this is why I went to looking at this so much. But I'm not going to be using Adobe, and I wouldn't say that Adobe or any of the other. Can't think of Blackmagic. Let's see, Blackmagic. I think Blackmagic's the one that I might actually. I don't have a machine that can run it. They have a free version of Blackmagic, I believe it is. Anyway, you have to set up a server to run it on. Now, if I can do a virtual machine server of that in my big server, it could handle it big time. And I could start learning Blackmagic. It's not that one, it's the other one. I keep wanting to say Red, but that's the camera. Ever since I signed up to download that stuff several years ago, I tried them both out. One of them I could run on my machine, but I didn't like it because it wouldn't support any normal codecs that I use on YouTube. Over the years, I've used everything from, AVI, MPEG-1, AVI, MPEG-1, 2, 3, 4, AVI, I can't even think of all the different types of, the Mac codec that I didn't know was the Mac codec. What is it? They used their .mov, I think. I didn't know that was from Mac for years and years. Anyway, because I never have had a Mac, but I have worked on the Mac just a tiny little bit because my friend that I used to write songs and sing, and I had a friend that had a studio in his house, and he had a Mac, and that's what we recorded on. He played everything: guitar, bass, drums, keyboards. So he was a one-man band, and I would just sing and write. I already had the lyrics, I just have a book I wrote lyrics in, and then we put them together with his music and make songs. And it's on my website, donsongs.com. That's the server I run. But, and it's free to download. So you want to check it out. But that's what some of them links are at the beginning and end of my streams. Okay, so no wonder I kept saying After Effects. I saw it, and that's the one I remembered. So this is what he's been using, and he never got it to work even after buying a 900-watt power supply. But he did cure some of his problems, he said. So let's go back to that page. We'll see what it said it cured. It'd be good for me to review that. Let's see. So the PSU is much better. Let's see. Oh, he got the card. He sent the card back and got another one too, and that didn't fix it. And let's see. I'm not going to read all that. You could freeze it and read it if you want. I think this is what he bought. Oh yeah, they kept telling him don't buy these cheapo power supplies, and I guess that's what he ended up buying. He didn't buy the 900 watt because they told him it was a crap brand. And I did agree that the ratings were. They didn't say. They said total wattage, added up wattage. I can't remember how they worded it. Let's see. Not complete, but some word started with a C, and it said wattage. I guess I'd have to show it to explain it. I can't remember, but okay. So this is what he bought, I guess. I didn't think that was what he bought, but anyway, that should do. You know, that's the exact recommended size. And this, you know, I'm not a brand guy, and I've seen just as many bad reviews on this brand of stuff as I have on and videos telling about troubles with them as I have with you know, the other what they consider off brands. But anyway, that should be fine. And so let's see. He was having terrible problems with his graphics though. No weird graphics glitches, doing normal things. And he was having trouble, period. If he just moved his mouse, he'd have trouble. But he's still getting the same issues when he trims to OpenCL with Adobe Premiere. I don't really know don't remember what CL is. But black screen, white screen, random characters like the picture I showed you. He has several monitors too. He has 2 or 3 or 4. And and he was asking him how do I upload a picture, and so then later he uploaded a picture. And that link was to the power supply, so evidently that's the one he got. They told him how to upload the pictures, and then he says, this is what happens when he tries to use OpenCL. Now, OpenCL, okay, that is Kdenlive, the open source editor I use, they support OpenCL. That is an open source project to do rendering. That's what it is. I could probably, GPU rendering, I could probably look it up and make sure I'm not wrong, but in Premiere Pro CC 2019. That's still the same. So that, you know, especially now that I wouldn't have thought, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, he should have posted that at the beginning. Then that is more, I just figured that's a software issue, software bug issue maybe, but a software issue, not the power supply issue. But the other things he was describing, that was a power supply. Okay, here's OpenCL, Open Computing Language. Processing unit, CPU. So it's how they talk to the CPU. That's what it is. So it works with a lot more things than just, and I'm going to put that, I don't know where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it in video editing since that's the kind of things I do. I got a server for, no, I want software. Because that way, I've got, these are just very few links here. And there's a lot. But these are only the last, well, since Fedora 28 came out, that's 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Is that 4 years? I think it's more like 3 years. Because they just now came out with Fedora 32. I'll put it in that one with the live streaming software and Don't want to get sidetracked into that. I thought I won't remember that name, but I might remember I have it in a link and I'll see it. Okay, so I put that in the cart. What I really need to do now is, let's see. Okay, servers, and go into. I saved the things that are specifically might work. I might want for my server in this folder. Oh, okay. And it doesn't look like. Here we go. It looks. I saw this the other day by chance. I paid right under $300 for mine. It didn't have free shipping. It was $30-something, $38 or something for shipping. And I said, "Oh, look at this! Now somebody's selling it for $249, free shipping." But let's see if it's the exact same thing. 64-bit server, 26 core. Looks like it's the same processors. 64 gig of RAM. 8x. Yeah, 164 gigabyte hard drives, or the HP, standard hard drives. 10K SAS. Yeah, okay. FID. P4 10i RAID. I think that might be the one I have. 4x gigabit NIC. Yeah, that comes on the box. No SOS. So that is, if you want one of these servers, you can get it for $249. That tempts me to buy it. I don't need another one. I haven't even got this one up and running again. But now in the picture, it's just like, I don't know, this might be the same company. Amazon renewed. Never seen that. I don't remember seeing that before. Mine was from some, server rebuilding company, refurbishing company. And that's what it looks like. And the pictures on mine had a picture of a DVD, but it didn't come with one. And the pictures on mine had pictures of 750-watt power supplies, but it came with 460s. Which, first I was a little bit aggravated, but then I kind of figured it might be like that, because they never said what the power supplies were in the ad. I thought, well, that's actually not going to be as much heat. So, but of course, if you're not running it hard, it's not going to make as much heat either, or use as much electricity. That's exactly what mine looked like when it came, that box and everything. I'm probably getting it from that same company. But, the link to the one I bought, let's just see. That's it right there. I gave myself a link so I could go back. See, it's still, now it says it's, they don't have the price right there anymore. Huh. It says it's $299. So maybe if I might have just been seeing that. These sellers, you have to do that now. $299, $384. Now, why is that the only thing showing up? But I hate trying to, you're trying to find who you're actually buying from. Well, when I bought it, it had the price right here like normal. So I don't know what's the difference is. It's the same thing, but the page is all, it's like it's getting ready to be gone away, when they start doing that. Nobody ever wrote a review on it. I thought to myself the other day, I thought, I ought to write a review now that I've had it a little bit. Doesn't want to go back. But let's see, where's that? Yeah, see, it's got the price all over the place. So definitely I wouldn't go to that other spot. I'd go here if I was going to buy one. And it is weird because I'd find all the prices all over the place, when I was searching. Same exact one for $100 more or something, But now it doesn't have any reviews either. The thing about writing, I won't go into that, but I don't like writing reviews on Amazon anyway because they won't let you say what you want to say. They stop it. Try to upload the videos and they fail, and I won't go into that. But I like to make videos. I don't like to spend it for writing, even though I like writing. I used to really like writing. I used to, about 10 years ago, 2011, I was a website and a supplier. I applied and had chosen to get to write reviews and get the free product. I used to do that. That makes it worth. Well, that makes it worth it, but course, well, as the years went on, people, they started asking me, will you make videos? And I did that once before they asked, and that turned into a mega project. Of course, I knew it would, but I didn't mind doing it. But anyway, now they kind of, well, they don't necessarily expect you to make videos, but they want good projects, and you can't blame them. not just write reviews, but do a project. And anyway, now there's a lot of people know about that, and they're engineers and stuff. And last time I applied, I didn't get chosen. I got chosen in the roundup, but not in the final decision. And it was really probably all right because I really didn't have time to do it. Well, you think you have time until you have a deadline, and then all of a sudden it's the last 2 days, and you haven't finished yet. Okay, so made me forget. Oh, I was trying to find the cable. I don't know if I ever saved it in my. I copy that to get the model number and everything. See if there's saved anything about. Yeah, I did. Okay, and that's some of my searches. So this cable looks like it would work. It goes from a 10-pin to 2 8-pins, but that's also just what you wouldn't want to do. Not with this card. You wouldn't want to put. You would not want to use that other 8-pin. You would be overdrawing your wattage on your machine. But here's what I saw. I just started searching through here, and I did not find a 380. There's no 380 on that page. There's a G7, but it's a newer model. It says HP, 580. I guess 580, 85, and 980 G7s, I guess. If you look in there, same thing, G7, 360 G7. Okay, so if it would fit a 360, I would think it would fit a 380. Then it says right beside that, it says G80, 380 G8. So not a G7, but a G8. And you never know when they might have changed it. And I'm not going to reading through a bunch of numbers and getting it right. That's why I'm doing the search thing. 980 G7, 980 G7. So I kept thinking, well, maybe it says it in there and I just can't see it. Now, I don't care how long I stare at it. I just will always get that kind of stuff wrong. My eyes have always been that way. Yes, I had lots of trouble in school because of that. And then I never heard of such thing as, what do they call it? Now I can't even think. I knew 2 people that had it after I was grown. Where your eyes swap letters and numbers, whatever that is. One of them got to go to school for it, and the other one, they couldn't afford it. And their parents, and they, it's 2 girls, and they just kind of learned how to deal with it on their own, But I don't know that I have that. Dyslexia. I don't know that I have that, but I definitely have trouble. And it's worse now that I'm older. It got better. Something really strange I would have never thought. I have worse trouble reading on paper, But once I got on the computer, I could read much, much better until the last 3 to 5 years. It's gotten worse. But I'm trying to look through it. If I'd shut up, I might be able to do that. Yeah, I did. It does not say 380, but I did. I've looked and looked, and I could not find. Oh, GPU cable seemed. Well, that's what brought that one up. But I can't think of. I'll try 8-pin to. There's another 8-pin to dual 6+2. A little cheaper, but. Well, today looks like there's more cables coming up than yesterday, so. Let's try. I don't know if they give. Yeah, they're not saying anything about what machines it goes on. Here, so it's probably fine, but I don't want to buy something and have to send it back or any of that stuff, but it's all that. I wonder if I could go on the. Nah, I'll try it maybe, but. This is talking about normal power supplies. Let's see what comes up in. Oh, I forgot to look on down that list. Okay. 6 pin to 8. I want 10 pin to 8. And I tried looking 10 pin, you know, to 8, and I wasn't finding it. Okay, now let's try power cable and see if I get much different. That's that same cable, I think. Yeah, pretty sure. 8 pin to 8 pin. That won't work because Morton showed that in a video, and he says, and he got to looking at it. He had using the cables he had, you know, and he said, and he got a bunch of them. But he said, well, I wonder if you could do that. But he says, I wouldn't recommend it, but maybe you should look into it. But they don't fit. You'd have to alter them, and I wouldn't do that because you don't know the pin out. You really need to know your multimeter to figure that sort of thing out. And I wouldn't, and I have no idea what the pin out is on either one of them, so I wouldn't mess with that. 8 pin. It looks like it's just 8 pin splitter there. That's an 8 pin. Is that the one I was looking at? 8 pin to dual 8 pin? All I really want is a 10 pin to 8 pin. That's what I really want. Oh, it's a splitter too. See, those are pretty prominent, so you notice that company said don't do that because they know they're everywhere. Let's see. Just put 10 in here. Search for 10. I don't know what that is, but it comes up every time I search for. See if I can say PIN. It's the only one that says 10 pin, but sometimes they put a dash in there. They don't usually just, yeah. Only thing on that page that says 10 pin is that one. It would work, I think. So it may be the one to get. Oh, but if I look around, I might get it for half that price, too. If you figure out how to let's leave the ProLiant out and put chin. See if that will do it. Last time I tried that, it did not help one bit. And a lot of them will split off. You've seen cables that do that. They'll click or unclick. 8 to 6. That'd be fine, you know. That one there actually looks like, I think I've seen it before. Put this in my server. Yeah. Let's look on down here. Well, let's just search for 10 again. There may not be that many on here. 10, 1099. 6-pack, 6, no, 6 and 10. I want 8 and 10. 10 pin to dual 8 pin. It has bad reviews anyway. So let's go back up. There's only one more page. Let's see if there's any on there. Same brand again. 10 pin to 8 pin, 6 pin, either one. That one looks a lot. It actually, in the picture, it looks like the cable's a lot smaller. It looks like it wouldn't carry enough current than that first one I found. They look like they get good sized wires. Yeah, this one I think is the one. Looks like it would have decent sized wires. And I guess it's the very next one. Just look at the pictures. Well, no, okay, it was just a picture. They look the same. Wait a minute. That's not even the same kind of cable. That's an 8 pin to a Molex and an SATA and what else? You know what? Well, I'm not planning on putting any kind of extra drives, so that might be a good cable to have. If you know you knew you weren't over pulling your wattage. 8-pin 6.2 IDE compatible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But is it the same? See, the thing is they have rounded and squared off portions to make them not go where in a place where they don't want it to. See, there's a Molex and a SATA, generally hard drive cables, you know, or a DVD or a CD. And there's the split up, the kind of cables that you can split. You can click that on or click it off. Like if you need 6, you do that. If you need 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you need 8, you click it together. I had some stuff come with my computers I built like that. Oh, how long is it? 10 pin. That looks like the one I would really want. But, oh yeah, that's the same brand I think as the other one because I remember those pictures of telling you how their cables are better. I would rather have that than the dual 8-pin because that just tempts you to forget and do the wrong thing. You're definitely not going to draw, you know, your hard drives will draw the most of things like that, unless it's some little bitty laptop hard drive. It probably wouldn't be too bad. CD-ROM drive and all that wouldn't draw much power. And of course, my audio card wouldn't need anything like that. But I just don't know if that's the right connectors, and I don't. If I buy it, I won't want to mess with sending it back, you know. Plus, if there's actually nothing really wrong. Oh, yeah, only compatible with HP DL380. Oh. 380, G6, G7. What do I have? I have a 380 G7. Cool. So this is the one to get then. This one is the one I kept hoping would work. Let's see. Let's see if I want to take it out of the... I'm hitting the button and not reading. Yeah, this is the one I don't want, so I'm going to make sure. Oh, well, that's not the page I had a link to anyway. Okay, well, that's okay. Okay, so... right. Okay. And it's the same brand as that other one. And I haven't looked at the reviews yet. We'll do that after I won't put it in the cart yet. But I think it's going to be fine. So let's just page on down. And I never paid attention that people also bought. That could have been there. Usually never anything close to what I want. It would be funny if this was in that people also buy, you know, thing. Oh, I got to make sure it's long enough. I got a measuring tape. Let me check that before I go any further here. Camera, what was this? Okay, let me get over there and measure. I'm gonna have, because the card's gonna be over here, plugged into this. And I'm gonna have to go from here to there. It's gonna have to snake around. Oh, that's gonna end up being 18 inches. 18? Yep. 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 at least. Where's that thing? Gotta make sure. Yeah, oh. Okay. It's not on, so the tape won't short anything out. That means
Yes, 18 to 20 inches. The other one was 15. I imagine you might be able to get by with a 15, but let's see what this one is. That's the thing Morton kept saying, man, that's so far away. Because his cables he had were fairly, I guess they were 10 and 11, 10, 11, something like that, inches long. He wasn't actually, he was just showing different ways and how easy it was to get the cards to fit in the board, in one of the, it was a G6. Looks pretty much like one of these. And so he wasn't trying, he didn't want to put them in, he didn't want to take that much time because he wasn't going to do it.
So, well, I'm really glad I found that. Let me check my audio now that I've done all this switching around. I didn't check it because I didn't want to take extra time to send, but now that I'm going back to normal mode, I'll make sure it's working. Plus, it's been a while since I checked it. Okay, there we go. So, and since I'm talking, I cannot talk and read at the same time hardly. I have to shut up. And so I got to. Is that? See, there must be a difference because it says only 380 G6 and G7 servers. So the pinouts the pin configuration, the size and shape of those connectors must be different in the other newer servers. Oh, 25 inches. No problem. Mucho grande. 25 inches. Cool. How did I think of that? I'm born and raised in Texas. And I've heard Spanish all my life, but I know about 10 or 15 words. When I used to work in the cabinet shop back in the 70s and 80s. That's where I learned some of that. I had some friends. Well, I had a real good friend when I worked at GD, too. I actually went to his house one time. So we were actual friends. Only once, though, so maybe just kind of almost friends. And his mom gave me, she cooked me some tortillas on the gas stove, just on the flame. That was the best. I think they were homemade. Best tortillas I ever had. They were white, flour tortillas. Let's see. Of course, I wasn't used to just eating them by themselves, but they were so good, you didn't need nothing on them. They might have put some butter on it. I can't remember. Or asked me if I wanted it. But I was used to having burritos or something, But, connectors, 10 pin. His mom was from Mexico. She couldn't speak any English. I don't know why. Well, how did I think of that just now? Oh, because somehow Spanish popped into my head. Yeah, so I doubt that I would, need those other connectors ever. But, what if I decided, oh, hey, I want to. But you see that, SATA drives will plug into the. I just thought of a way I might, but those SATA drives will plug into the hard drive caddies. You take out the SAS drives and you can put those in there. And they'll just plug right in. And that's what I've got too. Well, but they're USB backup drives, and what I've read is that they're just the same size as laptop drives, and that's the size that'll go in there. But I've also been watching some videos, and Morton did a whole bunch of them. He calls it, what did he call it? He's shucking them, shucking the drives is what. But he couldn't say it right. He's a Danish. He lives in. I always forget, but anyway, Danish is his language if I remember right. But he speaks English really well, but you're talking a second language. There's a lot of things you won't get exactly right. He laughs. He knows. Sometimes he knows. I don't know how to say it right, so he just says it the way he wants to. He don't care. But anyway, he took a bunch of them, brand new ones out, and showed how he does it and everything. And they looked like in the picture. See, mine are the smaller drives, and his looked like they were the same size as a regular hard drive. Was it? 3.5. Is that it? 3.5 wide. But anyway, they looked like they were the same size. He had the bigger SAS drives. I have the small ones that are the size of a laptop drive. So I don't know if my drives are going to be the bigger size or the smaller size. Even though when I bought them, the reviewers were saying they're just laptop drives. But I don't mean 100%, and I haven't taken them out because they're my backup drives. I'm using them every day. But one of them, I was thinking I would take it out. They're redundant backups, they're double copies of the same data, and one of them's getting full, and so I need to buy another one anyway. One's 5 gig, and the other's an 8 gig. And so I thought, well, I could take that 5 gig and put it actually in the machine. But if it wouldn't fit, and I have this cable, and I'm okay with my wattage, and there's 2 SATA ports in there, I could just use it the old-fashioned way, you know. I mean, I'd have to figure out a way to, I'm sure I can figure out a way to, you know, screw it down in there, put it up on top of the power supplies, and, you know, just put some zip ties on it and some duct tape, and it'll be fine. I'm sure I've done stuff like that in other desktops. I'm sure that some bracket or something. If it doesn't have a way I can screw it into a bracket that's already in there, I can probably take a desktop bracket and screw it in there somehow. I will not drill holes in that thing or do any weird stuff like that. You know, have to be existing screw holes and stuff. I don't want to do that. I have done stuff like that on 1 or 2 desktops, but only because I thought it was important. So yeah, it says it fits my machine. 1-year warranty. That's better than the 30 and 90 days you usually get. It keeps saying it's only compatible with that server, and that's perfect because that's exactly my server. SAS drives. Have I been saying the wrong kind of drive? SAS drives is what I have. SAS. I get confused and I say, like, I think yesterday I always get my words wrong. You know how I was saying I got them wrong? I used to didn't get them wrong when I was talking, just in my reading. Get things backwards and numbers and letters swapping and numbers going upside down. I want to see what they're saying in case it's something that means something to me. And he said, this adapter is only designed for... We don't know a lot about the DL380E. Okay, so... Oh, I never have... I'm just now... Ooh, those are not very good reviews. It's not quite 4 stars. Shoot, let's see what they don't like about it. They only have... Dang it. Let's see what the deal is. They may be crap cables. Only have 5 ratings. Well, that's a good way to get... You know, your review quotient really goes down fast. Yeah, there's... Melted my DVD player. These are the kinds of things I do not want to see. Oh, crap. That's exactly what you don't want to see in a cable. Unless the guy, you know, plugged it in backwards or something. Works with the ProLiant. Exactly as described. Wiring doesn't feel cheap, so that's good. Let's not. Well, there's only. Let's go to the 1 stars because it's a 32% 1 star. Oh, it's only 1 review. Oh, you don't want to smoke your video card. That's for darn sure. Well, this is where I normally wouldn't buy something, but I don't know if I'm going to find. I can look on other places. I mean, I can't order anywhere else that I feel safe ordering. You know, I'm going to put all that in there. I'm not going to hurry up and do it. So it reminds me why. You know, I might say, oh, well, why don't I get that? Let's do that. I mean, it popped in my head about the server. What if they had... yeah, I'll go to the server. Well, let's go to that. Where's the link where it's to... Guess I need to sort them. The link where it's 249. What did that say? Oh, yeah, I put a date in there of when I saw that price. Thought I was ready to check out. Oh, there's no ratings on it. That's right. Oh, I was looking for people also viewed. It's just more servers. That can actually be helpful if you know about one server but you don't know what might be similar. It can be helpful. There's a workstation that's not really similar. Anyway, you can buy brand new servers on here too. I looked and looked and looked, and I really didn't expect to find that much. Well, the first time I looked on Amazon, I did look. Everything was really high, and then I several months looking at them. You know, I think I looked for a year before I bought one, maybe even longer. I didn't have the money at first, anyway, and I. Like they had gone down a whole bunch when I finally bought this one because they were higher, quite a bit higher, $50 or $100 higher. And I figured they'd all be sold out and there wouldn't be any more of this model left, but they still got them ever since about 10 months ago. Since they're going down now, I bet you they'll start selling more now. But I don't like when they put those numbers in parentheses. Oh, those are my videos. I was trying to figure out, are those my videos or someone else's? And here I put my own videos, you know, so because it's about this server, you know. But now I'm trying to figure out where's my search. That maybe I can go back to it. I don't remember what that search was. Got so excited I forgot. Okay. Yeah, that found me a cable. It's really only that one, I think. Let's see. Let's try pin. Yeah, that one, the other one, that's the same company though, so there's no point in buying another different one from that company. Call them cheap, may be cheap, because they got a 1-star on that one. Let's get rid of the pin. Find too many results, but yeah. Okay, go back a page. That's a 10-pin for HP 380. That is my server, but it's the one with the really bad reviews. And I believe it's the same brand again, right? Now, I hate it when it does that. You don't know where it went. It went off somewhere, but not. Oh, there it went. 10-pin. That's the same brand. It's not a 10-pin. 6-pin. Yeah, not going to work. That thing looks so interesting, I think I should go find out what it is, but I ain't got time for that. Bunch of 10s on that little thing. And then that one is the one I opened up. Dual PCIe X 8-pin. So I guess it goes to 10 to 2/8. Yeah, looks like it. And it would fit my machine, they say. What's the one rating? What happened? G8. Well, it doesn't say G8. G8. It says right there, 380, G6, G7. Okay. Well, I'm going to put that in I don't normally save anything like that. But see, there's a reason why that's a 1-star. They ordered the wrong part. So that's one case where I wouldn't pay any attention to that review. I'll just leave it like that. If I go back there, maybe they'll have more reviews or something. It's 25 inches. And that could be why somebody had trouble with it. They might have tried to put it on something else. But I don't know if I can tell that. And you really do need to pay attention to this because people don't usually lie about when something burns something up. Years ago, I bought a VGA. What was it? Oh, it was a VGA adapter for what? Oh. Well, it was for a VGA monitor cable to do something. And I bought one, and there was like one person that said it burned up their monitor. I thought, oh, it probably didn't do that. And it had a lot of reviews and it had decent reviews, but I don't think it had like good reviews. Like maybe 4 stars or maybe a little under. Because years ago I used to be a little more risky. Anyway, I bought the thing. It's only $2. I didn't want to spend $8 or $5 or $10 for it, And I plugged it in, and my monitor started smoking. And it was a CRT monitor, years ago. And I unplugged it and everything. And well, the thing is I kept trying. It would come on and then go off, come on and go off, and then I started smelling smoke. And I thought, holy crap, you idiot! I thought it was just the monitor settings or something, because well, that's back when I had Windows XP, and when you change cables or something, Windows would change the settings on you and mess things up. I thought it was just something like that. When I started smelling that smoke, I was like, oh no! And that thing, I didn't use it anymore, and that thing would work fine. It never quit working for years, but once in a while you would smell that smell again, like when it had been getting real warmed up or something. And I ended up taking it out in the garage, and it stayed out there for a few years. I got some old computers out in the garage I use sometimes when I'm out working on the truck or something, just to get on the internet and stuff, look things up. And I'm not reading, I'm talking. Yeah, it's 2 8-pins or 6 pins. 25 inches long. I wonder if it's 25. Yeah, okay. No, it is 25 from end to end, and then there's another 9 inches on this one. Okay. Well, that one's too short to do anything with on the server. That's why they said make sure and look at the pictures. People must have already complained. Sometimes when one has bad ratings, they'll make a new page for it. I haven't found another page, but try to start over with a clean slate. A lot of sellers are doing that these days. So anyway, it got to where I kept smelling that smell. I thought, well, I'm going to burn up these computers out here, And so I took it down and quit using it because I had another one that somebody gave me. I had 2 monitors, and I could have 2 different computers hooked up out there at the same time for a long time. But it still would work. But I thought, you know what? It sat out in the garage so long, it may just have so much dust in it. That's what's burning, off the tubes, off the old CRT tube. But so I didn't throw it away. I thought I'll take the cover off, and I think I did take the cover off once and look at it, and I couldn't even see a part that looked like it was burning. I thought maybe it's even something I could replace. You never know. Whatever it is, it didn't die. It still worked perfectly, no problems. It just would smell. Oh, the reason I quit is because one time it was smelling, and I got up and looked in there, and I could see sparks, like something was sizzling. You could hear the sizzling noise when you got up close. So I thought, man, that's dangerous, because it could happen when it's plugged in but turned off. I thought so. And that's why I used to leave them plugged in and just turn off the computers. And sometimes I'd turn off the power slips. Sometimes I didn't, This one, if it wasn't for the other cable having someone say it burned something up, this I'm not worried about that review. He bought the wrong, it says what he bought it for, and it's not even close to what he bought it for. So, but I would have one unusual side on it. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but okay, so the other one, I think they might both, there's that one. The other one's probably up at the top because I sorted it already. Usually I just leave them where they are. See, this one is, well, you can just click on, I think the other one was One of them's that one. Okay. The other one's this one. That's really what I want, but maybe I don't want that variant. Let's go look at those ratings again. I didn't go into, there's only the one rating, no pictures, DVD player. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at these. G6, PCIe bus, and it worked just fine. You definitely don't want any tiny wires because you're running 150 watts through this thing. Originally, there were no such thing as a 150 watt cord, you know. Oh, the other one didn't show up anything when I clicked on the 4-star reviews. So let's go back to the actual page. Now, I think since there's so few, you might be able to see them all on this page. Yeah, see all reviews. There we go. Yeah. There's actually only 1, 2, 3 reviews, but it said 5. I see that all the time. Unless you got to click on that again. Oh, well, that's back to there. I see that sometimes, you know, it says it has so many reviews. I never noticed when there's 1,000, but when there's just a few, you know, I'm not just here, but at Walmart, and that's the two main places I, you know, really seriously shop. So what I want now then is the search criteria that I used. And I don't remember which one. So I'll keep going back until I find it. There it is. That found it. So I'm going to try that on good old googly goo. Let's see. I'm going to listen to my sound again. And I'm getting to where I'm needing a break pretty bad. So do this, and then I was thinking, now what am I going to do? I don't want to show my checking out and all that. Well, what I'll do is just quit. Get it bought. Whatever I find, I'll buy it, and then might come back, you know, after that with a little more video. eBay, I can't stand eBay. I used to sell on eBay. I will not shop there. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's see. That's the ComCheaps. There's no point going there. ComCheap. AliExpress. I tried to buy from them one time. I've been a member of it for years, and they sent me back an email saying, I put my credit card, and they said, oh, your credit card didn't go through. And I knew there was nothing wrong with it. They said, just do PayPal. And then I saw later, I was like, well, I just didn't trust that. It was the seller writing me, you know, and I thought, okay, I don't trust this. I'm talking to China anyway. And let's see what that is. And so then, I don't know, within a year or something, probably, or late, maybe longer than that, Morton was buying. He does kind of what I'm doing, you know. He'll show things sometimes when he's looking them up, and anyway, or just show where he got it. And well, that's $19 for one of those kind of cables. Let's see. It does say 8-pin to 6-pin, not what we want. Okay, so anyway, he said, kind of said the same thing, but he went ahead and did it, and he didn't have any trouble. It worked just fine. He got it and everything. And I thought about trying it again, and then the next time I went on there, I don't know, something else I didn't like. Well, that wasn't actually, it was AliExpress. I've been a member of Alibaba for years. Since not too long after it came out, or I think that's when it came out. But anyway, it's a long time. And then when AliExpress came out, they have like you don't have to search to find something where you can buy just one or two. It's kind of more at consumers, and so I was going to try it, but I decided I didn't trust that whole thing about. And I think what it was, I kind of decided that what it is they may pay less processing fees using PayPal. hopefully the nice thing is that than they do on credit cards, but it really should be the other way around because PayPal charges outrageous processing fees because I have a PayPal account since PayPal came out. That's the way I set it up on. Well, actually, I started out with a real credit card processor, paying $60 a month whether I used it or not. I used to run an online website myself selling pro audio gear for about almost 5 years. And when Musician's Friend, you know, they're owned by Guitar Center, when they came online, they were selling things cheaper, and I was paying for it from my suppliers, and I finally just shut it down because I couldn't compete with all that. And then there was more after that, you know. I kept it up for a year or more, maybe 2 after they came out, but I was having trouble competing anyway. But then when they got online, they blew the little guys out of the water. Okay, so I don't think I want one for $57. So we'll say, I guess, 1, so we don't get just really 220, 1 to 20. And sometimes I click new, but you still might get used, so I won't even do it. But the thing about here is it's hard to find things that you trust, places that you never heard of before. The Triple Light, now I like Triple Light products, but that's just a regular power cord. That is a Molex connector. I can tell that from the picture. That's the same brand. Mod DIY DL380 Gen 7, 10-pin to 8-pin, $19.99. I don't know what Mod DIY is, but let's see. Usually that went straight to the side. If you click, how do you do it? Click one of the links they have on there. Oh, there it is. If you click that one, it'll tell you. No, I went straight to them. I want to know about their reputation. Usually they go to a deal saying, okay, these are all the different suppliers. Maybe this is the only one. Free shipping. Well, I'm going to put it in my. Well, let's see if it's actually what I need first. 10-pin to 8-pin. Looks like a dual. Looks like the 10-pin in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 2 8-pins. It doesn't look very long in that picture. Let's see. I mean, I would pay that much more money if I thought it was trustworthy and a better cable. Don't see that it actually looks any different other than the color of the insulation. It's the only recommended solution at the official HP forum. Oh, really? I'll click on it. I'll click, but $370 GL380 G7, 8, and 6. Oh, I don't think it's recommended by anybody but just some people typing on the forum. H304. They do have some weird addresses. That's so weird. I probably wouldn't have went there. Look at that, all those numbers in front of then www.3.hp.com. That's so weird. I don't know what the heck it is. I bet you that ain't a real. If that's HP forum, I'd be scratching my head as to why they use that kind of address. Anyway, this is a poster. It's not. I don't think it says staff or anything like that, or even a forum manager or anything like that. So looks like they're lying to me. What's the other words you would use besides staff? Moderator. Mod. It's not. I don't see anything posted by a moderator or anything like that. Support. Yeah, I did have. Yeah, be careful. Fake stuff. Support.hp.com. So maybe it really isn't HP, the HP site. I just realized what I should have done. This is what I do, and I said I'll click and I had a funny feeling when I did it because I'm not. Oh, that's not what I want. Not that it's going to show up anything weird, but I don't want to scan images. I can't believe it did that. I want to scan the link with the virus total. Let's see if that site's clean after I've already went there. The other day, I just scanned a link, and it came up one bad, and I usually don't go to them, and I started scanning every link in my search results, and it kept going that same one. I think it was that one there, the one on top. So every site I clicked on, I thought, man, I think they're getting some false positives, because some of them were stuff I knew were pretty well okay, you know. So it's clean. 80 Scanner says it's clean. So I want to find that. Oh, yeah, here it is. HP. That must be it right there. Yep. Oh, it's a different cable. Okay, so 24 to 6 pin adapter. That's a mother. I've never seen a cable like that before. Motherboard. I guess it's turning your main motherboard connector for a regular computer into. I don't exactly know how to. Okay, here we go. I like to be able to tie things together if I'm going to save them in, you know, in my bookmarks. Okay, so at least they're not outright lying about it being. I think it is HP site. I think I'm still going to. Looks like I got to do more research, and I'm going to have a break. So I guess I'll do this offline, off video. Yeah, I can't wait any longer. I want to see the rest. I wanted to show them, but you know, everybody knows how to shop, and I've showed enough. If you didn't, you know, if you were well, like me, you couldn't think of the right idea of the search results. Well, that worked, which is an awful lot of, you know, a lot of times that's too close, too many words. I can't think of the other word, and you won't find anything at all. But that actually did finally work. And find me my exact machine. All right, so I'm going to go, and, you know, I don't know. I probably will come back today, but I'm not 100% sure. First, I'm going to get this figured out, what I'm going to order.